All right, so from writing exams to learning how to study, it's all about the teens this morning, the learners, and we're very excited for you because the holidays are just around the corner. Of course, the matrics are wrapping up their exams as well, and they are finishing off next week, which is great. But although many school learners are excited about this, there are still some who experience stress and anxiety going into the end of the year, and that's what we're tackling this morning with family therapist and social worker Talya Ressel to give us some insight and guidance into this end-of-year stress and anxiety.
That
Why?
we all seem to have.
That's the thing, man.
And it kind of seems misplaced.
Good morning,
because we're going into the holidays.
Yeah.
It's the last thing you want to be doing, is stressing. So why are we stressing when it's nearly holidays?
Well, I think, and it's not just teens, I think it's kids, but it's adults too, if we look at ourselves. I think that, it's a build-up of the year. We've been working really hard, lots of pressure now. It feels, and it feels like for me, this last intense stretch to get through, and our resources are low. We're tired.
That last bit of the Comrades Marathon. You've run like 90, but there's still that little bit to go, and you're like,
Exactly, and it's an uphill.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Okay.
This time of year, we've got exams, as you've mentioned. We've got transitions, change, where everyone's saying, come next year in this grade, you're going to have to buckle up and do well. Lots of pressure, lots of things that are out of the ordinary. You've got suddenly more parties, more engagements, all these things that you've got to finish up, so your schedule and routine gets thrown out.
So taking a look at the teens going into the end of the year and maybe where there's stress and anxiety present, are there particular situations that I think parents need to look out for?
Yes, I think that parents, as we said, exams they need to be aware of, but also they need to be aware of holiday plans. What's happening? Is your child being left out? Are they included? Remember, with school, they don't have to plan too much of their day.
True.
But holiday time brings a whole nother ball game. So there, that stress, that anxiety can come. Also, family gatherings. As much as we think that's nice time, we actually see a huge spike at the end of the year in people wanting therapy, people needing medication. All that stress from having to spend time together cannot always be fun. Other things that they need to look out for is your child's sleeping pattern, what's going on there with holiday times that gets thrown out, and other sort of activities that come along that are not part of their day-to-day norms.
Yeah. I think you spoke about one of them now, one of the signs and symptoms that your child is experiencing anxiety or stress if their sleep pattern perhaps changes drastically. What are some of the other ones to look out for?
Any change in behaviour, suddenly their appetite changes or their sleep changes. Maybe if they're starting to avoid activities that they would normally enjoy. That's an alarm bell for a parent. In particularly younger children, you'll see their anxiety coming out in tantrums and screaming or shouting, or anger can come out too. But also important to know, one of the most common symptoms to look out for, tummy aches. Tummy sore, yes, because kids can't actually put that connection, make the link and say, I feel stressed. Instead, they feel it in their body, my tummy or my headaches.
Okay, all right. Maybe they just also need a massage and just like...
This is some relaxation and some pampering,
Yeah.
Because, there's something, I'm glad we're talking about this, because the last thing I would think is that my two boys are going to be stressed going into the end of the year, being kids and looking forward to a holiday, but there's definitely a stress and anxiety apparent, so make sure that you as a parent take note of those signs and those symptoms as well. We'll be continuing this conversation with Talya a little bit later on this morning.
It's hard to be a kid, eh?
It's tough. It's tough.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show on this Wednesday morning. We're talking all things stress and anxiety, especially associated with the end of the year, from writing exams to learning how to study. We are focusing on the teens as well, but also spreading out the entire topic to the whole family, because we are nearing the end of the year, yet another year, and certainly for, of course, for the school year, it's ending off. But Talya Ressel joins us, family therapist, to give us some coaching tips on how to handle this end of year anxiety and stress, and just maybe highlight once again for us why it is so important that we are talking about this.
Well, I think, end of year also comes with transitions. You're leaving your schoolmates, you might be changing your class, you might be changing your school.
Jobs,
exactly. You might be changing your whole lifestyle. So a lot of transition, and we know that times of change, even good time, aggravates anxiety. Often parents will say, why is my child unsettled? It's a holiday, a good change. But change unsettles us. When we don't know what to expect, anxiety increases.
Yeah. So give us some tips then to help us manage this end of year anxiety and stress.
I think parents, first of all, as I always say, check yourself. Because we as parents get so stressed this time of year trying to fit everything in. So our patience is a lot less. Our aggravation and irritability is high. So take care of yourself. Then I think talk to your kids. Explain, like I've said, when you don't know what's coming, you get stressed. So if you could talk to your child about any upcoming events, or this is what we're going to do, and give it to them in a way that you can help manage their expectations. We were just talking about when the holiday doesn't match your
The reality.
The reality, exactly. Talk to your child. Let them know what's going to be happening, what they think will happen. If you've got out-of-town visitors coming, or if you're going out of town as well, talk to them about whose room are they sleeping in, or what's the expectation for them. Ever heard of hangry?
Hangry, oh yes,
Yes,
being angry and hungry all at the same time.
Exactly, because it just gets aggravated. So make sure that you're eating regular. If you're taking your partner shopping with you, make sure you stop for breaks for food.
Yes.
Same with your child. Cape Town gets frenetic at the end of the year.
Season,
Exactly. So find time to just do something quiet, get away from it all.
Yeah. And is it very important to actually plan that off time? Because I found myself during the holidays having thought that I was going to go into the festive season and, I'm going to lie on a hammock and do nothing. But then you find that you wake up and every day there's stuff to do.
Exactly. So you have to make an appointment with yourself. You have to help your child make an appointment, that they learn how important it is to carve out that time.
Yes.
Because otherwise we're at the bottom of the list of priorities and we don't get to it after all the errands trying to fit into those 2 weeks of holiday.
All right. So what are your final thoughts on the matter?
I think that if parents can start thinking about it already now, talking with their child, knowing that in all this excitement, there can also be some difficult feelings, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Change, saying goodbye, leaving things behind, that's a normal part of life. And we just got to help our children build that resilience in being sad to leave something doesn't mean that you're not happy about where you're going or the change that's coming. They both can exist together.
Yeah, that's a great way to summarize it. Thank you very much for joining us, Talya, and thank you so much. Of course, the understanding now that we do all experience stress, especially our children out there. So hopefully this conversation has been inspiring and that these tips have been helpful in helping you plan an end of year and a holiday season that'll be truly relaxing and have you back again on the grind, refreshed next year.